We have to talk about Scotland's outgoing First Minister, Humza Yousaf. I said on Sky News earlier this week, he's the man who made the headlines around the world for all the wrong reasons. He's a person who's become obsessed with identity politics and, of course, has had a pretty big failure when it comes to listening to women, and that may have contributed to his political demise. Oli, how would you describe the legacy he leaves behind?
Well, Humza Yousaf is a deeply unpopular figure in the UK, perhaps more unpopular than Meghan Markle, and that really is saying something. He's been divisive. In 2020, he had a speech in the Scottish Parliament where he was lambasting too many white people in government in positions of power, even though Scotland is 95% white. He then, of course, had this hate crime law, which went into effect on April 1st, April Fool's Day. And he actually received thousands of complaints, more than J.K. Rowling, for his divisive anti-white speech from back in 2020. So he's been incredibly divisive. This decision, however, does come because he abruptly cancelled a power-sharing deal with the Green Party in Scotland, causing them to say that they would vote against him in a no-confidence vote. So he really didn't have a political future. But I think a lot of Scottish people and people around the world are breathing a sigh of relief and hoping that he is replaced by someone that actually is less divisive and focuses more on protecting Scottish people and protecting British interests.
And you're right, we've heard people in Scotland and right around the world express their joy, and many have said good riddance. What does the SNP need to learn from this? As Humza Yousaf lasted just over a year, will his successor be any better?
SNP has had scandals in the past. Of course, you've had Nicola Sturgeon. Her husband's been arrested multiple times over corruption allegations. So they have a kind of a checkered past. Labour, which is led by Anna Samwar, who is also very divisive and said a very similar speech to Humza Yousaf regarding Scotland being full of too many white people in positions of power. He actually, in the last poll conducted in March, he was leading by 1% in terms of popularity. So if there is a snap election, he could well become the next First Minister. And, he has been divisive. He has said that he will add misogyny to the new hate speech law. And that could also include transgender biological males that can claim misogyny should that law go into effect.
OK, we know J.K. Rowling has been critical of Humza Yousaf, saying that he's experiencing karma right now. Is it a win for J.K. Rowling and women's rights campaigners?
It absolutely is. I think the way Humza Yousaf conducted himself, personally attacking J.K. Rowling, I think that's unbecoming of somebody that's a leader of a country. Their job is to create unity and to speak with people that have different opinions. He should have been meeting with J.K. Rowling, with women's rights campaigners, meeting with trans campaigners and trying to find some kind of middle ground. How can we make sure that everyone feels safe, everyone feels comfortable, everyone feels happy? Instead he just used his Twitter to attack her, which I think as a leader is completely wrong. And I think any next leader of Scotland should be consulting with women, because we've seen, obviously, there were transgender prisoners in women's prisons. That has now been changed due to outcry. And now we're seeing transgender activists trying to use the new hate speech law to report misgendering. So there needs to be some changes, but the next leader needs to consult with people with different opinions.
Absolutely. Author and media personality Oli London, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour.